Want to create your very first 3D Lego model from scratch in minutes? In this video, I'll show you how to master the building palette from Bricklink Studio, the key tool for finding and adding the exact Lego parts you need. You'll learn powerful search techniques, pro tips to speed up your builds, and complete 2 real models step by step. Ready to take control of your Lego designs and build like a pro? So without further ado, let's get started. We're still on the first day of BRICKSBIZ training, and we're now going to add our first bricks to our model. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to create your first basic Lego 3D model from scratch in just a few minutes. To achieve this goal, your first challenge will be to master the building palette, which is the default area on the left of the Studio Build interface. So let's take a closer look at what this building palette is made of. First of all, let's define the term palette. In Studio, a palette simply means a collection of Lego parts. At the very top of the building palette, you'll find a drop-down menu that allows you to select a particular palette. By default, the palette selected is Main, which is, as its name says, the main palette containing all the most common Lego parts. Just below the drop-down menu, you'll be able to select different categories of Lego parts. As we'll see in a moment, these categories will allow us to filter our search for parts. At the very bottom of the building palette, you'll find the most important part of this area. It contains the Lego parts you can use to build your models in 3D. By default, the parts are filtered according to the category you selected earlier in the area. If no category is selected, Studio displays all the parts available in the palette. A search box, located just between the categories and the parts list, will also allow you to filter your selection. Finally, next to the search box, you will find 3 buttons that will allow you to change the display color in the building palette, or choose to show or hide parts printed or with a sticker, or increase or decrease the size of the parts displayed at the bottom of the area. First, let's look at the use of categories. For the moment, we'll restrict ourselves to using the main palette, which is selected by default in the drop-down menu. In the main palette, there are 2 category structures for filtering parts and making it easier to find what you're looking for. The category structure entitled Shapes, and the one entitled BL Categories, where BL acronym stands for Bricklink. These 2 categories correspond to 2 different ways of classifying Lego parts. Shapes corresponds to the categorization used by the Lego group. The second is a slightly different classification used on the Bricklink website. Personally, I prefer the Shapes category, which I find a little more intuitive. But I'll let you make up your own mind as you go along and choose the one you prefer. Within a given group of categories, the categories are organized in a tree structure. By selecting a subcategory in the tree structure, you can further filter the parts listed in the building palette. You can save certain categories, those with the finest granularity, as favorites by clicking on the star icon, located on the right of each subcategory. Adding a subcategory as a favorite will pin it to the top of the list, allowing you to access it much more quickly without having to scroll through the entire list. You can also reorganize the order in which the categories are displayed by entering one of the items and dragging it to another position in the list. In this way, you can optimize the way the categories are displayed and speed up your future searches for parts to add to your 3D model. If you want to reset the order in which the categories appear, simply right-click on the structure header and choose the Reset to Default option. The category hierarchy will return to its initial configuration. Before searching for Lego parts, it is essential to understand how Lego bricks and parts are identified. Officially, Lego uses 2 distinct codes to identify parts. First of all, a code called Design ID. This is a unique code specific to a given part, regardless of its color. It consists of 4 or 5 digits and is the code displayed at the bottom of the Studio interface when a part is selected. The other code used by Lego is called Element ID. This is another unique code, but this time it corresponds to a combination of shape and color. This is a 7-digit code, which you will find printed in the parts list, usually at the end of the official Lego building instructions. The Studio software, and therefore Bricklink website, is making use of the Design ID, i.e., the code that identifies a particular Lego part. You will sometimes see a letter or additional characters after this 4 or 5-digit code. This is used to identify variants of parts. For example, the head of a Lego minifigure will not have the same expressions from one figure to another. A different code will be used in this case. These are known as variants. Some Lego parts have also evolved over time, undergoing slight changes in shape. These are also known as part variants, to identify the different versions and modifications. So, as you may have gathered, the variants concern shape, not color. Now let's go back to the Lego parts search area in the Studio Building palette. There are many ways to carry out your search. The most intuitive method is to use your mouse to scroll through the list of parts to find the brick that interests you. For a better view of the parts, you can use the Tab key on your keyboard to enlarge or reduce the search area. You can also click on the thumbnail size icon to enlarge or reduce the size of the parts displayed in the palette. But as you can see, the number of Lego parts in the main building palette is enormous. Studio indeed allows you to use around 95% of the complete catalog of official Lego parts. That's a lot of parts. It is therefore necessary to filter your search. To speed up your searches, you can carry out a first level of filtering using the categories and subcategories we discussed earlier. Click on one of the categories, and the list of parts displayed will be reduced to the Lego bricks in the chosen category. To speed up your search even further, you can type the part description in the search bar. If you are aware of it, or thanks to certain additional techniques that we will learn later in the training, you can also type the part identifier into the search bar. That's what we did earlier by typing in reference 3.0.0.9. You can also, of course, combine the different types of searches. For example, start by selecting a category to limit the number of parts displayed, then type in part of the description of the part. Other advanced techniques will be presented later in this lesson and in BRICKSBIZ training course to help you optimize your search. But you'll find that, with practice, you can often use a combination of techniques to find the parts you need in a matter of seconds. Once you've identified the Lego part you need, all you have to do is to click on it and drag and drop the part into the building area as we saw in the previous video, so that it can be added to your 3D model. Let's move on to the first practical exercise in this lesson. Download the Studio file whose name is displayed on the screen by clicking on the link below this video and open it in Studio. Let's take a look at this Lego logo built with classic bricks. Your first exercise will be to recreate the 3D model of this Lego logo using the brick search techniques you have just learned in this course. If you're not yet familiar with the description of Lego parts, which is perfectly normal if you're just starting out, you can click on the bricks in the 3D model in the background. The description of the brick and the item number will be displayed in the status bar below the building area to help you. Remember that you can change the color of your bricks using the color palette on the right. Select the brick whose color you want to change, then choose the color you want from the drop-down menu in the color palette on the right. As a final tip, select the brick category to filter the parts displayed and make your life easier in this exercise. Pause this video to do the exercise. If you have any difficulty, I let you restart the video so that you can watch me perform the exercise live in front of you. See you soon. Now that you're done with your first 3D modeling, I'm going to give you a few more tips to speed up your search for parts. As you may have noticed in the first exercise, you don't need to type the whole description, or the whole words, to find the parts you need. Studio filters the search results as you type. Nor is it necessary to respect the order of the words in the description. Typing brick 1x2 or brick 2x1 will give you the same results. But what exactly does the 1x2 indication mean? The large majority of Lego parts can be identified by the presence of studs. Studs are the small round protrusions on the surface of most Lego parts that enable them to be fitted together. These are the emblematic elements of Lego bricks, but also a unit of measurement used in the Lego universe. Parts can therefore be searched for by their dimensions in studs. This is one of the quickest ways to find your parts. Use the letter X, in lowercase, to separate the numbers indicating the number of studs. For example, the iconic Lego brick is 4 studs long and 2 studs wide. Use the text 4x2 or 2x4 in the search bar to find this brick more quickly. Combined with the right category, your search will be even faster, as you'll see. You can see on the screen some examples of searches for specific Lego parts, depending on the size of the part in studs. Before moving on to a second practical exercise, here is a list of additional tips to increase your efficiency in finding bricks. First of all, remember I'm doing just a quick break in the video to let you know that if you're enjoying this free training, you're going to absolutely love the full BRICKSBIZ training course. BRICKSBIZ full training course, this is more than 25 hours of online content, an exclusive membership to a private Discord community full of business experts, a lifetime access to monthly live sessions, and tons of templates, bonuses, marketing strategies, and automation scripts to turn your passion for Lego bricks into a profitable business. It's completely risk-free to try. You have 14 days to explore the program, and if you're not satisfied, you'll get a 100% reimbursement. No questions asked, though I'm pretty sure you won't need it. So if you are looking for more information, just follow the link that appears underneath this video. I let you get back to the content of this free BRICKSBIZ training course video. Remember that you can use the Tab key on your keyboard to reduce the search area for your parts. Most of the time, you won't need to see the parts with prints or stickers. Click on the Decorated Parts toggle button to hide printed or self-adhesive items and reduce the number of items on which your search will be based. If the icon for this button displays stripes, this means that the search must also include printed parts. If the icon is displayed in white, without stripes, the part search will exclude all decorated parts. If you work a lot with a specific color, pre-select your color by clicking on the Color Palette button on the right of the search bar. For example, if you're working on a model with a lot of blue, select the default color blue. That way, when you add parts to your 3D model, they'll be in the right color straight away, so you don't have to recolor them later. Sometimes it's not easy to distinguish between two different parts in the building palette. By holding down the right mouse button on one of the parts in the palette and moving your mouse, you can view it from all angles. If you often use the same part categories, use the Favorites function in the Subcategories, clicking on the star icon on the right of the category. And don't hesitate to adapt your favorites to your current build. It's also a good idea to reorganize the categories so that the ones you use most often appear at the top of the list, as favorites or not. Finally, one last tip for this lesson. Google Image can be your best friend. When you're looking for a very specific part and can't find it straight away in the building palette, you can type your description of the Lego part into Google and search for the corresponding image in the Images section of Google. Generally, you will see the part identifier appear under one of the images in your search results. You can then type this identifier into the search box in the Studio Building palette to find the part you are looking for. And if you really don't find the part you're looking for, give a try to Lego part recognition software powered by artificial intelligence, like BrickOgnize.com website. The site might identify your part based on a picture. Alright, let's finish this lesson with a second practical exercise that will enable you to apply the knowledge you've just acquired. We're going to make a 3D model of a duck out of Lego bricks. Download the file whose name appears on the screen and below this video, then open it in Studio. As with the Lego logo above, try to duplicate the 3D model of the duck using the new brick search techniques you have just learned in this course. Once again, If you are not yet familiar with the description of Lego parts, you can click on the bricks of the existing 3D model in the background. The description of the brick and its identifier will be displayed in the status line. You can reuse this information in the search area. Pause this video to do the exercise. And if you're facing difficulties with the exercise, I'll let you restart the video so you can watch me perform the exercise live. See you in a couple of minutes. Well done! Thanks to this first practical lesson, you've already reproduced 2 3D models in the Studio software. Before moving on to the next lesson, I recommend that you spend a further 5 to 10 minutes experimenting with the different ways of searching for parts in the building palette. I'll see you in a minute in today's next lesson, in which we'll talk about the criteria for choosing the best ones out of your MOCs to sell. See you in the next video! This video was taken from the BRICKSBIZ training course. If you'd like to discover the full richness of this training course and learn how to create and develop a business around your Lego, you can follow the link that appears just below this video. You'll be able to join a community of experts and generate your first dollars in less than 4 weeks. As for me, I'll see you in a new free video on the BRICKSBIZ YouTube channel. You can watch the video by clicking on the link on the screen.